All right. Take 2. Try it again. Yeah. You should all know everything about it this time round. Hey guys, we a couple of days ago we did the fruit of the Spirit called goodness, and it didn't record, so we're here and we're doing it again. So, yeah. Let's go through it. Remember, we were talking about the fact that the fruits are the most important thing to have in us, the behaviours. It's the only thing Yahusha considers worship, our daily behaviour. So these fruits really have to be worked in us, grown in us. So, yeah?
Yes.
And we're up to number 6, goodness. So, Mikey, do you want to start us off with the English understanding for goodness?
Yep. The quality of being morally good or virtuous, a belief in the basic goodness of mankind, the beneficial or nourishing elements of food.
You guys can do some talking this time. What did all that mean? This is the English understanding, so this is what the world considers as good.
Oh, that says that people believe that there's goodness in mankind, when in fact we're all born with evil in us. Has been since Adam and Eve sinned in the garden. Prior to them sinning, yes, everyone would have had only goodness. But after that, everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Born with it.
So this idea here, the quality of being morally good or virtuous. The world actually thinks there's morality and virtue because it's right there. They think there's some kind of goodness in the world. Yeah?
Yeah.
Keep going, mate.
The AI overview. Goodness is a quality of being kind, honest, and helpful. It can also be described as moral excellence or virtue. Here are some examples of goodness. Random acts of kindness. Doing something nice for someone, such as calling a friend, sending a card, or offering to help. Being generous, giving to others. Being helpful, offering to help someone out. Being polite, having the courtesy to be polite, even if you don't agree with someone. Doing what's right, avoiding what's wrong, and doing what's morally correct. Some synonyms of goodness include humanity, benignity, and benevolence.
So we discussed the fact that there's people in the world who can achieve that on the outside, on the surface. There's plenty of nice people, but can they do it all the time?
No.
And can they achieve it in the spirit with these spiritual fruits?
No.
Well, the only way they can achieve that is if they have Yahusha. Yahusha's spirit.
Yeah. Otherwise
it's unachievable for any person.
That's right. That's right. If you were to approach one of these people with the truth, they wouldn't be so nice, would they?
No. Absolutely not.
Because there's a spirit in their flesh that hates the truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's, in English, what goodness is. Now we've got the Hebrew understanding for goodness. Di?
Okay. Affection, love, lover. To weigh with scales as if to ears. That is, ponder right or wrong.
So to ponder with to weigh with scales is like the 2 ears, like the corn or the barley. So we're talking about offerings there.
Yeah. To be alert, physically on foot or mentally encouraged. Be courageous, steadfastly minded, established, fortified, hardened, increased, prevail, strengthen self, make strong. Besora, glad tidings, reward for good news. To be fresh, that is, full, rosy, cheerful. To announce glad news. Messenger, preach, publish, show forth, bear, bring, carry, preach good, tell good tidings. To be good or well in the widest sense, be better, bountiful, cheerful, at ease, fair in word, be in favour, glad, good deeds, graciously, joyful, kindly, kindness, loving, merry, most pleasant, pleasure, precious, prosperity, ready, sweet, wealth. To ascend, that's a burnt offering. To be valuable, useful, or benefited. Set forward, can do good, be profitable. Kabod, weigh, weighty presence, splendour or copiousness. Gloriously, glory, esteem, honourable.
That presence, like you were saying with Adam and Eve, that's what they felt, that weight on them, clothed in his presence.
Absolutely. Fatness, that is the loin of the sacrificial animal. Trust, confidence, flank, hope, loin.
Offerings again.
Yeah. To be enclosed as if with fat. To unheart, transport with love. To make love cakes, offering, that is love grain offering. Make cakes, ravish, be wise.
It's offerings again.
A whisper, that is by implication a private prayer or communication, or as we say, a conversation.
So a lot about the offering, about being a sacrifice there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
This fruit, this behaviour that comes forward from us to become good, to have only good coming out of us, is a choice. Which means we have to throw everything else that's bad on the altar and let it burn up. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we talked last video about that private prayer or communication, that whisper. Remember?
Yeah.
The still small voice, still soft voice.
Yep.
We can hear him.
Yes.
He talks to us. You can only do good, because the world thinks it's already good, but we know that that's all just filthy rags.
Yeah.
The only way you can do something good is through hearing his voice, that still small voice, and doing it.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to read a couple of those, mate?
Certainly do.
Scripture understanding.
Gen 1-3, and Elohim saw that it was good. Mankind is now like Elohim, knowing good and evil.
So everything Elohim created in the beginning was good.
Mm.
The fullness of wholesomeness and perfection, it was good. Everything he made was good. And then by chapter 3 it says, after they'd sinned, Adam now knows, mankind is now knowing like Elohim, good and evil.
Yes.
So we now know the difference between good and evil. So mankind was kicked out of the garden. So the point is that he's the epitome of goodness. Yeah.
Yes. Exodus 33:19, and he said, I shall cause all my goodness to pass before you, and I shall proclaim the name of Yahuah before you, and I shall favour him whoever I favour, and shall have compassion on him whom I have compassion. But, he said, you are unable to see my face, for no man does see me and live.
So that power, Moses wanted to know him, wanted to meet him. After all those supernatural things that happened in Egypt, he wanted to go up the mountain and meet this person.
Yeah.
And Yahuah says to him, you can't see me and live. No flesh can survive in my presence. But it's interesting that even by saying, all my goodness will pass before you, just by saying his name, even his name, all the goodness will pass before you. His spirit, in his spirit, is just It's just full of goodness.
Yes.
So, Psalm 65, mate.
Yep, Psalm 65, 4. Blessed is the one you choose, and bring near to dwell in your courts. We are satisfied with the goodness of your house, your set-apart temple.
Yeah, how did that relate?
Well, the body's now the temple. We have to be satisfied with what we have been given. So you look at the whole of the world, and everybody's trying to change some part of their body, whether it be face, breasts,
Gender.
exactly.
That's it.
There's people trying to change every single thing that they don't like about them.
Yeah.
But Yahusha's like, that's how I made you. You're perfect that way. I want you the way that I've made you. But most people aren't happy with the way that he made them.
Blessed is the one you choose and bring near to dwell in your courts. We are satisfied with the goodness of your house, your set-apart temple. We can only find that satisfaction in him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what's supposed to be coming out of the temple?
Love, joy, peace.
Fruits.
Yeah, his
Love.
spirit.
Yeah.
That's what they went to the temple for, to experience his spirit. Experience his presence. And that presence is the only thing that will make us satisfied. Yeah. Mikey, Psalm 1.
Psalm 1, 2-3. Blessed is the one whose delight is in the Torah of Elohim, and who meditates on his word day and night.
Meditates on his word day and night. If you're meditating on his word, there's no room for any negativity. There's no room for anything evil, rogue thoughts. You're constantly checking. You're meditating on his word day and night. If you haven't read his word from cover to cover, is that a priority?
Yeah.
How do you get to know somebody if they're not physically in front of you? How do you get to know them?
No, you don't.
You have to read his word to know. When you get a thought, to arrest it and check it with the word, which means we need to know the word inside and out. It's really important. Blessed is the one whose delight is in the Torah of Elohim, and who meditates on his word day and night. It's really important, guys. We need to be in his word, because that's what washes us clean. Our mind, our heart, we have that procedure happening within us. His word is like water. It washes us clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
John 15.
I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. Behaviour. For without me you can do nothing good.
There it is. Without me you can do nothing good. So all the things we've done in our lives, all the things we see going on in the world, is it good? Was it useful?
No.
Our whole lives, without Yahusha, have been useless. Filthy rags, waste of time.
Yes.
And those who hear the call to come out, get to know him, that's the only way you can become good. Without me you can do no good. Romans 15.
And the Elohim of expectation fill you with joy, with all joy and peace in believing, that you overflow with expectation by the power of his Spirit. Now I myself am persuaded concerning you, my brothers, that you too are filled with goodness, complete in all knowledge, able also to admonish one another.
Filled with goodness. When we have his spirit within us, we are filled with goodness. That spirit that created everything that it was good has now filled us with that spirit. So we're filled with, without His Spirit, we're not good. We can't do anything good. We can't think anything good. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are filled, that you too are filled with goodness, complete in all knowledge, able to admonish one another, which is to teach, rebuke, encourage. Galatians 5, Mikey?
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, trustworthiness, humility, self-control. Against such there is no Torah law. And those who are of Messiah have impaled the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another.
Those who are of Messiah have impaled the flesh with its passions and desires. So there's a earthly, physical, fleshly, passionate, emotional response, reaction to have in every situation. And there's a spiritual fruit to have response to each other. This one is what has dominated us our whole life. You said it to me, so I said it to you. You said it to me with hatred, so I threw it back at you in hatred. Bang, 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 forward, back and forward, back and forward. Then fists might come involved, the violence, back and forth. It's all heated, it's all passionate, it's all emotions, And even if you're not a violent type person, it can be passive aggressive. You can do it with your eyes, you can do it with your silence, you can do it with your inner judgments and hatred. So either way, it's fleshly. It's the passions of the flesh that need to be impaled so that we can walk in the Spirit, because the Spirit doesn't behave like that. Because the Spirit from the scripture before that says it's good, all goodness, which means anything we do that's good in our life, it's actually Him that did it. We have to give Him the credit for it. Any thought we get, any plan that actually works, any prayers that are answered, anything good that happens in our life is Him. Yeah?
Yes.
If we take credit for it, well, there's those passions of the flesh again. Desires of the flesh that need to be impaled. Ephesians 5, Rob?
For you are once darkness, but now you are light in the Master. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is well pleasing to the Master, and have no fellowship with the fruitless works of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is the shame even to speak of what is done by them is in secret.
That's how Yahusha feels about what the world does. The darkness that's going on. It's not so much underground anymore.
No.
A long time ago it used to be underground. Really depraved, perverse things used to have to get kept underground.
Yeah.
Now it's just
In your
on the
face.
nightly news.
Yeah.
Now kids can just walk past the TV and see all sorts of depravity, and it's just celebrated. But what does Yahusha say? It's a shame even to speak of what is done by them in secret. The secret desires and depravities and things of the flesh that tells us have to be impaled. He doesn't even want that crap coming off our lips, talking about it. He wants us into the good stuff. Philippians 4, Rob?
Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is good and true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, which is uplifting and encouraging, think about such things.
Probably one of the most important scriptures. You could literally carry it with you all the time and think, run your thoughts through this filter. Is it good, true? Is it noble? Is it right? Is it pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, uplifting, encouraging? is what I'm thinking, is what I'm saying, is what I'm doing, any of those things.
Yes.
If not, garbage it, trash it out, get rid of it. You know?
Yes.
That's what we need to, that's how he feels about it. 3 John 1, Rob?
Beloved ones, do not intimate the evil, but the good. But the good. The one who is doing good is of Elohim, behaviour. But he who is doing evil has never seen Yahusha Elohim.
So if somebody's not behaving any of the scriptures that we've just read, do they even know who Yahusha is? Have they even met Yahusha?
No.
Experienced him?
No.
It's obvious by their behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why he gave us 3 rules. You don't take what they're doing personally. Just let them have their behaviour. They don't know Yahusha. They don't know any other way to behave.
No.
Forgive them, Father, they do not know what they do.
No, that's it.
And don't make excuses for yourself or them. Just face the truth about everything. You know? Here in our 6th fruit, goodness, we have the linchpin that holds our whole temple together. This 6th fruit will hold our whole temple together. Because as the other fruits, it cannot be faked or pretended. It is an overflow of our set-apartness, overflow of our cleanliness and uprightness with Yahusha. It is the love of Yahusha's word and our study and discovery throughout its entire content that teaches us who Elohim is and what he considers good and evil, clean and unclean, or abominable. So if you don't know his word, how do you know what good and evil really is?
You don't, do you?
Scripture says we're born with a conscience. You said there's obvious things in the universe, the sun, all the things that he's created makes it obvious that he exists. But we're also born with a corrupt seed. And as we get older and older, our conscience, inbuilt conscience, just becomes seared and just numbed by what we've experienced and seen our whole life. So we need his word to show us what good and evil actually is.
Yeah.
Otherwise we can just be like the world and say, oh, I'm a good person. I do good things. And yet there's a list of things in scripture that Yahusha considers are an abomination. And the world does them all and still says that they're good.
So we're okay.
Hey?
We're okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good is declared evil and evil is declared good. So everything's arse up.
Yeah.
So if we are consciously, purposely feeding our incorruptible seed with Yahusha's good words and filling ourselves with good thoughts of his reign, then we will become like him, good. So you've got to be reading his word and you've got to be hearing his thoughts. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly. That's the only way you can produce anything good. So by choosing through each right thought to become good, which is only achievable by hearing and doing, we are growing up more and more into the head, who sits on the throne of heaven, master and Elohim of a completed work that began at creation, when he considered the work of his hands good. That's when it all began. That's when his goodness started forming in this dimension, in this world. He created everything good. And now he sits, after his transition, coming to earth, becoming Yahusha, now seated on the throne of heaven, good. And he is the judge of it. The only way to become good is to be delivered from the spirit in our flesh through the narrow gate of Yahusha Elohim. For he himself is the door and the only one who trains us, flogs us, and prepares us through a process of spirit and fire baptism. Only those who are consciously walking this deliverance vein and forcing their behaviour. Did you realise you had to force it? Forcing something. Like getting a spanner or a wrench and putting your whole weight on something to force it. You know, like, that's what we have to become in our behaviour. Don't smile at that. I know how to use a wrench. So, all right?
I wasn't smiling
Just
at
because I
that.
break my
No.
nails doesn't mean I can't use a wrench.
No.
So, all right? So only those who have been through this vein By consciously walking this deliverance vein and forcing their behaviour to change into the royal laws of love, only those will find the joy and peace of the righteousness fruits.
Well, I was going to say, Yahusha forces you.
Mm.
He makes you do it.
Mm.
Because if he's not happy, you get the fire.
Absolutely.
So by him giving you the fire, he's forcing that change in every person.
Yeah. What happens to someone who would just keep fighting the fire?
They keep going through it.
Keep going branch.
They
Fire.
until they face what it is that he wants them to face.
Mm.
If they're still unwilling, then he'll just disregard them.
Mm.
I don't know you.
Mm.
You're no son of mine.
Each tree that does not bear fruit, I cut off.
Mm.
Yeah. So he gives us time. If we just refuse to go there, yeah, you're right, he'll disregard us. So it's very important, isn't it?
Yep.
This is the only thing worth attaining, these righteousness fruits. When we overcome the flesh, remember that scripture that said we have to impale the flesh with its desires?
Yeah.
When we overcome the flesh to put on his goodness, we are actually tapping into him, which means we're transforming and partaking of an eternal existence of goodness that is not available outside of his transition into Yahusha Elohim.
Mm.
So this goodness, even what he created even what he provided in creation, everything that was good, that's all going to be destroyed. So there's actually no goodness outside of his transition into Yahusha Elohim. Yes, there is no more goodness in Yahuah, for he's gone. There's no goodness in worshipping Yahuah. There's nothing useful, truthful, worshipping a dead carcass that's not there anymore, because he left the throne and became Yahusha. So yes, there is no more goodness in Yahuah, for he is gone. All his unchanging goodness of essence and attributes poured into Yahusha like pure living water for our deliverance. Everything that Yahuah was, he disintegrated, poured into that cocoon, into the swill, and it formed a new butterfly. It formed a new creation, which was Yahusha. It poured into him like water. Goodness is righteousness, which never works of ourself, but only by following his divine royal laws of love, through the powerful eternal blood of his new covenant on our hearts. If we are right and acceptable before him in our daily behaviour, then his goodness overflows, making us stronger, willing and ready, which means we're full of his love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, ready to be his living dwellings and the only witnesses of his miraculous wonders on this earth. This is the only way to achieve this kind of goodness. Speaking about the temple, however, until our temples are clean in thought, clean in speech, clean in behaviour, until we're ready and practiced in goodness, we will not be released from the milky enclosure of our immature chrysalis. What about that? We will not be released from the milky enclosure of our immature chrysalis, because people who are immature, like babes, just want to feed on the milk of the word, just want to be lovey-dovey, bubbied, encouraged, get their ears tickled, and like babies, just have to baby them and goo gaga. They're in a. If we're like that, we're still in the chrysalis, we're still in the cocoon, we're still not transformed yet, we're not mature. So, until our temples are clean in thought, speech and behaviour, and we are ready and practiced in goodness, we will not be released from the milky enclosure of our immature chrysalis. Permitted to filter, so we will not be permitted to filter into the wilderness as anointed new creations, just like that butterfly analogy. We won't be allowed into the wilderness because no sin, no flesh, no selfishness, those lusts and prides of, all those things that have to be impaled, that can't filter into the wilderness. So we won't be permitted to filter into the wilderness as anointed new creations, fresh, rosy, and cheerful, to announce the good news of deliverance for others through a new and living mature behaviour, ready to ascend to meet our bridegroom at his arrival. All those words were in the Hebrew understanding there. Do we wake up fresh and rosy and cheerful? Are we willing to announce the good news to anyone who wants to hear it? Deliverance for others through a new and living behaviour, ready to ascend to meet our bridegroom at his arrival. We have to be 99.999% overcome and prepared so that he can just completely transform us out of flesh. Without this fresh goodness, we remain babes, selfish, full of dominant opinion, worldly rights and aggression. And haven't we been filled with that our whole life?
Absolutely.
Who we are, what we're permitted to do and be and say, where the parameters and borders and, rules are in the flesh. And he wants us to give it all up, to become someone completely different. With our wives, husbands, children, friends. It's got to come out of us. So, this is your second time through all this now. Responses?
As I said, without Yahusha, nobody can change. Nobody. Everybody can have the delusion that they're good, and that's all it is. It's a delusion, because without him, you're not. You can't be good. You can't be kind.
Yeah.
You can't love
No.
the whole time. Whereas with him, he will teach you, no, that's not right. And he will continue to do it until he's happy. So.
Absolutely.
Yes. For me, the Psalm 1, 2, 3 has stuck with me. It's come up a few times in my day. And he's pretty well saying, do all this before I'll accept you.
Which psalm?
It was, blessed is the one whose delight is in the Torah of Elohim, and who meditates on his word day and night. So you have to do it all the time before he accepts you. And for a long time as well, not just once.
Well, as we discussed, we don't have time to read all day, but meditating is just thinking. So we can be thinking about his word, listening to his voice, when you're working, when you're at home, when you're driving, everywhere you can be thinking, talking, and you can hear his voice and he talks back and you talk back to him. It's an honest dialogue. You can even be arguing with him. He wants that. Moses did. Argued with him non-stop. Told him off and everything. Go and hit that rock. I'll show you. I'll hit this rock. And he beat the crap out of the rock. He was so angry at you. At Elohim, he didn't get into the promised land. But he was raised up as the greatest prophet because his communication and honesty and intimacy was just beautiful. He wants that kind of back and forward. Communication.
It's really personal kind of thing. Like the fruits, you don't have to, they're not about everyone else. They're about, your relationship with Yahusha. You don't have to do the fruits to other people. You need to do them for yourself.
Well, they're going to come out at other people, aren't they?
Yeah. People are still going to have reactions at you and they won't always be positive. But as long as you're doing the fruits, it's still, connecting with Yahusha and doing what he wants. And no matter what reaction you get from others, you can still have that connection with Yahusha.
Yeah, because the spirit in other people is going to try and trip you over. From you setting out to do this. That's why he gave us 3 rules. Go out into your day facing that nobody out there knows this, so why would I take anything they say seriously? Why would I take them personally? Why would I allow myself an emotional reaction? You know, we say that, but then when it gets said to us or behaved to us from a spouse or children, and the fire comes into us to react a certain way, well, that's when you've got to make a decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's all easy to say, but we have to be practiced in doing it.
Mm.
You know?
Very true.
So the love. If we're doing the love, loving Elohim and loving our neighbour more than ourselves, then we're going to feel joy, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's just a side effect of loving. Putting yourself off to serve others, is you're going to feel happy. It's like happy beans. And peace, you're going to feel peace. Love, joy, peace, patience. Patience is what can take it out of us, because we're getting patient with everything around us. Kindness, and now goodness. And on Wednesday we'll do faithfulness. How to be faithful to Yahusha. Be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to be a faithful servant. Yeah. So. Anything else you want to say? I mean, this is real. This is really happening.
Yeah.
You felt him grab you by the neck and pull you out of something. We talked about that yesterday. A deliverance, to pull you out of something, rescue you from something, put your feet on the firm ground and put you on a path in the vein, the spirit and fire baptism, so that you become this person.
Yeah.
Become a new creation. You have to have a change. If you haven't had the change, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That's very true.
Nothing will happen.
Yeah. So
Well,
you're feeling, sorry?
That's exactly what he expects
Mm.
us to change,
Mm.
us to be just like he was when he walked
Mm.
here.
Mm.
Because if
Absolutely.
we're not, then we're nothing.
Mm.
We're basically sons of the devil
Mm.
and daughters of the devil
Mm.
because we're not good.
No.
So we have to do whatever he says
Mm.
the way he wants it, not the way we want to do it.
Mm.
And he'll let you know if it's not the way he wants.
Mm. So since our video where we just sat here and chatted about how much we allow Yahusha's thoughts to come through us, have any of you noticed a change? You're noticing that you're aware that he's there all the time?
Yes, I'm definitely feeling more.
Yeah.
You know, more of a, I'm sure I get a voice, but I'll get something like that verse pops up. You know, I could be doing something else, and it'll come into my mind. So he's obviously saying,
Mm.
"Get on this."
Mm.
You know, and, it's that kind of thing at the minute, which is encouraging for me.
Well, we have a habit of thinking that Yahusha speaks through scripture
Yeah.
only. If you're doing something in your trade, anything practical that you're doing in your day that you've done for 20 odd years and know how to do it off by heart because it's your occupation,
Yeah.
is that you? Or if he says to you, maybe you should do this for me, maybe you should do this haircut this way instead. Maybe you should start at the front instead of the back. Maybe you should do the top instead of the bottom. Do we acknowledge him that much, or is it just me being a professional?
It's probably
See, he doesn't talk to us in scripture all the time.
No.
He'll just say, like in your case, don't pick that up, don't do that bit first, do that bit first.
Yeah.
Don't start at the back of the truck, the front of the truck. He gives you instructions for everything.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, I love you and when I created the world, it's not all things, it's not scriptural stuff, it's practical, everyday stuff. Don't forget your umbrella.
Yeah.
Better put your shoes here and not there because this will happen and that will happen. 5 steps down the track, this will happen, so you better do this and that and this and that. He does that with me.
Yes.
And so when you're used to having lots of kids, you say, don't forget to do this. And of course, nobody listens to you, and 5 steps down the track, they're all in chaos. But inside yourself, I heard that.
Yeah.
And you get bored of trying to prove it to anybody, but inside yourself, you say, I heard that. Even with husband and wife or anything like that, you could say, I heard that inside myself. You know, if you try and say, "Oh, I knew that would happen," you'll just get the
Yeah.
reaction you probably should get. But inside yourself, you're proving his voice to yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you're proving that I heard that. Was that me? You know. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sometimes he comes through other people and gives you an instruction.
Absolutely.
Whether it be when you're driving or
Oh.
when you're, doing something else, cooking, whatever.
Yeah.
He's there constantly. Why don't you add this to this and see what it's like?
Yeah.
An example is when I do the chicken schnitzels. Used to just be plain old breadcrumbs and a little bit of cheese or whatever. He said, I'll try this with this mix in it. It's great.
Yeah.
We all love it.
Yeah.
So, you always, why don't you see if there's a recipe to use that meat?
Yeah.
Something different.
Yeah.
Rather than what you would normally do with it.
Mm.
So, you hear the thought, but you don't realise that it's actually him until after.
Mm.
If
you do face that it's him, how much faster can you react?
Oh, a lot faster.
Did you find that helpful, knowing that he doesn't just speak in scripture?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Meditating Torah day and night. Oh, it sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm in the thick of kids and traffic and this and that. You're going to meditate Torah to me, are you? No, it's real. He talks to you in real.
Yes.
Mate, don't do this, do that. Do this, do that,
Turn right here.
Yeah.
Don't go straight, turn right. I didn't listen to him today.
That's an easy way. That's an easy way to see that he's in every thought. He wants to be so intimately connected in every thought, And how much we allow. I mean, that's what possession is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen the movies of someone who gets possessed, usually by a demon. They've lost control of their physical faculties. Yahushua wants to possess us, hey?
So they do all the moves as well.
Yeah. Yahushua wants to control us,
Yeah.
possess us, so that we become a temple full of him, moving around, loving people.
Yeah.
So it just stands to reason that every thought he gives us would be good. And they're the thoughts we have to tap into and go, yeah, I'm going to do that. Because at the same time he's doing that, there's a spirit in our flesh that's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And then you get attacked by demons as well.
Yeah.
And through other people and whatnot, you're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want to do what I want to do today. I want a day off, Yahusha. All right, well, he's a gentleman. Have a day off. How are you going to feel at the end of it? Wretched.
Yeah.
So it's all our choice, you see.
Yeah.
He doesn't force us. If you want to feel high and in his love all the time, you can feel high and in his love all the time. He never leaves us. Never forsakes us. It's us that just gets distracted by sparkly, shiny things.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, is that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
So, he's in every thought. You can hear him.
Yeah.
He'll show you. You've got his spirit. And if you hear it, particularly if it's husband, wife, or at home or whatever, and you hear it and you don't do it, you do it your way, that's generally when fire sort of comes.
Yeah.
Consequences, sharp pains, headaches, or you might trip over, or anything, any consequence or bad, good and bad in our day is all his hand.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
and that's why you can look out of your eyes and go, oh, he's got the fire. In the spirit, you can see fire coming off his head because you can see the anger. Or she's got fire, he's got fire. You can see it. Or I've got fire.
Yeah.
If you're honest with yourself, that's his hand, his judgment. He wants it gone.
Yes.
Happy with that, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Should be well into you now. You know what good is. Good. Good.
Absolutely.
Well, that was good. Goodness me.
Yeah.
So, alright, guys. Is you happy with Wednesday still? You're off Wednesday?
Should be.
Yeah. Alright. 4 o'clock, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
4 o'clock, fine, yes.
Getting through these fruits.
Yeah,
We should have a full understanding of what we are to be by the end of this little series.
yes.
Maybe after we do the fruits of righteousness, we can talk about the fruitless works of darkness, because there's a list of those too.
Yeah.
What not to be, you know?
That'll
Might
be
be
a good
interesting.
one. So that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
actually starting to notice the spirit in me not wanting to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting to have a bit of tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, starting to say, oh, you know, like coming here, just have a day off, you know. So, no,
Day off.
Come here,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. Just kick my feet up and watch telly again.
Yeah.
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 We all
that's
hear
it.
those thoughts,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
particularly when it's the second recording. We all hear those
So,
thoughts.
yeah.
Oh, let's just kick it up. You go, I already know this. I already know this one. There's no
Yeah,
surprises.
that is good.
But you know, but
Yeah.
when the spirit moves, you know.
Yeah, but you always get something different each
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
Each time you read something, each time you hear something, it's something different. And you get more out of it than you did the first time and the second time.
Yeah.
So you get better understanding and a more clear vision of what he wants, what he expects.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, good. You up on this now?
Yeah.
You know what it is? Yeah? Good, mate. Well, you're getting a good reputation at work, aren't you?
I hope so.
Well, it's obvious from the way they're raving about you and giving you every single reward. You know, and award, I should say. You know? You can see even without even saying anything about Yahusha, by having the right behaviour, good work ethic, punctuality, you're fast. They're the sort of people I wanted to hire. Friendly people, friendly stylists, you know, accurate, teachable, fast. You know, they're people don't want to be waiting around all day.
Yeah.
So you can see the qualities that Yahusha puts in us. You should be encouraged by it, you know.
People person.
People person, willing to open yourself up and talk to people, you know.
Yeah.
Yahusha had to train me to do that because I refused to do that for years. So gave me an occupation where you have to talk to people. So, you know.
Yeah.
This is very exciting, guys.
Yes.
Well, we'll call it there.
Bye.